No idea what this may be like. Or what quality this is going to be. I have to play with that a little bit. Good morning. Welcome to A Cup of Joe. Today we're going to play some Demon Souls. Got my coffee. Coffee. Got my Demon Souls. Got my me. Right there. I have turned down the PS3 capture compared to myself, and I don't know exactly how the mix is going to be, so we'll see. Time for the first sip. Gotta catch that on the mic here. Very tasty. I don't know why, I just love the shot. The guy hanging. Demon Souls. Is it a good audio mix? But you know what, I might be double playing the audio. I want to make sure I'm just outputting the game. It's been a little while since I've watched this whole thing. This opening makes the game seem more like a brawl or like a hack and slash type game than it is. But it does do a good job of like showing, oh, you can have people come into your world and fight with you. That's clearly meant to be part of the game. Then you fight an Elder Dragon. The cutscene is extremely loud, so we'll see how it is in the actual game. Online service for Demon Souls will conclude on February 28th, 2018. Alright. Please enter a name. Okay, now what's with this input mode? I don't want this. I need ABC. ABC? Okay, I guess I'm gonna enter it in whatever weird method this is. I think his name is gonna be Gee. It's gonna be Gee. Geese. Geese. Geese is his name. Got double mounts, yeah. All the mouths. Good to know I got the bits. Geese is gonna be a dude. He's going to be a temple knight. So that way I get this really cool looking halberd thing. And I get this shield. I think that, I believe Temple Knight actually starts with a healing spell, which is going to be really useful for when I inevitably lose all of my heals in the beginning of the game. That's actually pretty fun random there. It's a little older, maybe. Hairstyle. Gotta play with the hairstyle. Right. Let's change this a little bit. I want to be able to have my chat in a place I can see it. I have only played through this game once. I've played it more than, I mean, like I've only had one full playthrough, I guess, is what I'm saying. And that full playthrough was mostly blind, so I've already had the blind experience. I don't know what kind of hair Geese has. I don't want to go with wild. Wild red hair. I kind of like this face already. I don't think I really need to go into too much detail on it. Good. Geese. I might turn down the game a little bit more just based on the levels I'm seeing here.
King Alant XII, by channeling the power of souls, brought unprecedented prosperity to his northern kingdom of Boletaria. That is, until the colorless deep fog swept across the land. Boletaria was cut off from the outside world, and those who dared penetrate the deep fog never returned. But Valarfax of the royal Twin Fangs broke free from the fog and told the world of Boletaria's plight. That the old King Alant had aroused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, and that a colorless fog had swept in, unleashing terrible demons. The demons hunt down men and claim their souls.
Their souls!
Those who lose their souls also lose their minds. The mad attack the sane, and chaos reigns. Valarfax spoke of the enticing power of the demon souls. Each time a demon claims a human soul, the demon's own soul is invigorated by the life force.
This is anime as hell,
and the power of a mature demon soul
that checks out.
Is beyond human imagination.
Mature demon soul.
The legend spread quickly. Mighty warriors were drawn to the accursed land.
Makes sense. They heard that and they were like, you know what? This is a place I need to see. I need to go here.
Pure of the Twin Fangs. Yurt the Silent Chief, Sage Urbane, Skurver the Wanderer, the Sixth Saint Astraea and her knight Garl Vinland, and Sage Frake the Visionary. The colorless deep fog slowly creeps beyond Boletaria's borders. Humankind faces a slow and steady extinction. The deep fog will eventually swallow all lands near and far.
Kinda sucks.
But Boletaria has one final hope. A lone warrior who has braved the baneful fog.
Still pretty anime.
Has the land found its savior? Or have the demons found a new slave?
No. This is just the tutorial. So what's interesting, Demon's Souls has a tutorial and you're allowed to skip it. Now, similar to Dark Souls, there's a boss at the end of the tutorial. I feel like you get something for defeating him. That's like an upgrade material or something, but I don't really know if I care to do that. Sure, those folks that are here, all 100% of you, that have played Dark Souls. This, like, everything that's in the tutorial is going to be what is in Dark Souls. Also, this game has patches in it. No, the tutorial will still be around. I mean, with the servers going down, it's the multiplayer elements that are going to be gone. The game will still be playable.
Withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. Soul of the lost withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
Patch is the hero.
So the world might be mended.
It's me, the player character.
This is the Nexus. It holds together the northern land of Boletaria. Thou canst not exit the Nexus, but each of the 5 archstones will connect into
I love the way she pronounces things. It's very odd. There are a lot of elements to this game that involve the online stuff in different ways than in the following games. Oh, I don't like that. That was slow roll.
Well, you slipped through the fissure too, did you? You came for demon souls? Or to save this land and be remembered as a hero? Hunting for demons? Try one of the archstones. Now go. That is why you came, is it not? To this accursed Boletaria.
So you can see already, if you played Dark Souls, that like some of the ideas they were working with in Dark Souls was not the first time they had done them. This guy bears a striking resemblance to someone that you know from Dark Souls in the beginning of the game there too. One thing that I found interesting with this is that he shows up as like the glow of a defender or whatever they're called in this game. So it's as if he's another player in your world or whatever. But there are NPCs that don't show up that way. So here I have my blacksmith friend, and here I have Stockpile Thomas, because this game has something that they, thankfully, in my opinion, removed from the following games. And that is item burden. You can only carry so many things, not just on you, but like in your, you know, crazy backpack or whatever that stores all your stuff. Yeah, Stockpile Thomas, I'm pretty sure his name is.
I'm Stockpile Thomas.
Yeah.
When the scourge came, I didn't know what hit me. When I came to, I found myself here, in the Nexus. My wife and daughter fell victim to the demons. But I would be worthless in battle. At the very least, I hope to lend my assistance to you brave slayers of demons. I would be happy to lighten your load and look after any excess baggage.
Nice guy. Stockpile Thomas is a very good name. So I can like store my stuff in here with him, take it out whenever I want. Stuff that I already have on me show as equipped, and I can't actually deposit them. I don't really like that I've got a heavy roll right now, but I think I'm gonna swing with it just because I have not. You know, I'm just gonna play with this character for a little while. I don't know if. Yeah, I don't think that Skylar says I actually am a fan of carry limit mechanics if they're done well. That's fair.
You're new here?
I don't know if this game.
Services?
I don't know if it adds
My
anything
name's
to this
Baldwin,
game.
just an ordinary blacksmith. It's simple. Just bring me all the souls you can. In trade, I'll give you weapons, or forge ones you already have. With your souls, I can eke out a living, and with my weapons, you can go on living. Not a bad deal, huh?
Yeah. I also really like Blacksmith Baldwin. This guy says, I like the drama of finding something cool and having to choose what to leave behind. I think that can be very interesting if you're playing something like Fallout, or Oblivion or whatever. But this game doesn't. This isn't an open world game. The decisions you're making are often like, do I return or do I keep adventuring, stuff like that. And you'll oftentimes end up in situations where you'll randomly find something that takes like 50% of your item stockpile, or your item load or whatever, and things despawn if you don't pick them up. So you could get like a unique one time possible in the entire game item, not be able to pick it up and not know what it is exactly. It's, yeah, and so it's like, how are you going to make that informed decision, even if that decision was really there? I don't know if it happens all the time in this game. There's a stat that can increase your, you know, that increase the amount of items that you can then have that are not necessarily equipped on you. I don't really need to do anything with
interest, eh?
Smith Baldwin.
I can tell you're not gonna last long here.
Maybe not as cheerful as our friend Andre from Dark Souls is.
Oh my. How has this happened? Has God abandoned us for failing to show proper respect to King Alant? Oh, Mbasa.
Ooh, Mbasa.
Oh, Mbasa.
I wanted to read this message on the floor. Use pierce attacks on the next enemy. So another thing. Oh, I definitely just tried to run from Monster Hunter World. I have to be careful of that. In this opening area, there are a bunch of developer messages down here that kind of give you like all those little things that they don't necessarily tell you in other parts of the game. Just simple stuff like, oh, you have to use this to do a miracle. Or here's how you leave messages. Which is kind of cool. Like this was a really good idea in my opinion. Just like, hey, here's a bunch of random facts of things that the game is not explicitly spelling out to you in the tutorial. Yeah, so this is the Nexus. The Nexus is our like home world. Our Nexus is the Nexus. It's quite huge, although there's not necessarily as much to do here as the size kind of implies. And interestingly, we start out with quite a few NPCs here. There's 4... I don't know where the maiden has gone off to. Oh, maybe she doesn't show up until... Okay. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, you can see there are 4 people I can talk to right here already. And there's more people I can get to later on, and I can bring people back similar to their other From Software games. So the first thing I'm going to do is warp over to this Volitarian Palace. I hope to make it through the whole first area in this session, because I believe after the first area I can get an item that will allow me to do some multiplayer stuff. The whole method of like having a home base that you warp to other places from, yeah, this is exactly where it came from in Bloodborne. It's really interesting playing this after having played Bloodborne and Dark Souls, because there's a lot of little mechanics that's like, oh, that ended up in this game, or oh, that ended up in this game. Of course, huge dragons landing on things just has been a lot. Not something that happens in Bloodborne, I guess. But From Software are big fans of doing that exact thing that just happened. So here I have an Archstone. Archstone just lets me go back to the Nexus, very similar to how the lamps function in Bloodborne. Or maybe they're similar to how they function here. Oops. My spin move is only 2 cycles, it looks like. There's a similar mechanic that's in Dark Souls in this game where certain weapons, if they don't land a hit, will cause you to stagger. See, I recovered from that, but if I just do this... Oh, maybe that's not the case. I haven't really played with a helper in this game. Maybe that's something they introduced in Dark Souls. A lot of the ideas that are in the Dark Souls series definitely originate here. Different world, different plot though. There's different justifications for a lot of things, but you still have like, oh, the enemies you encounter have all gone crazy. You still have this, like, you're traveling to this other land, putting yourself in danger. You still have like the lone warrior trope thing going on. Find souls past here, alright. Still have referring to them as souls. Ow. Need some grass. Oops. Still have awkward targeting. Alright, time to stop shooting me, buddy. Even the little stuff that I'm picking up, like these healing items, do contribute to my equip burden and item load. And Assault Bird is really useful to have early game. I think I played through as a generic knight. Or I started as a generic knight, I should say. My first playthrough. And I did experiment with a little bit with miracles and with sorcery. I didn't really invest too much in either of them, but I wanted to kind of play with the different mechanics. Check out my... Oh, interesting. The game automatically equips my talisman in my other hand, which I'm not... No, I mean, that works. You can just do this and then heal. I oftentimes find that I'm equipping whatever weapon or whatever I'm going to be casting a spell or something with in my left hand. I guess it makes sense to put it in the right, too, because I'm not usually going to be striking while I'm casting something. But yeah, because I got those fireballs. Nailbreaker, alright. There's some movement mechanics. So a lot of the stuff that you're seeing right now, you're going to recognize from all the other FromSoft games. In terms of like how I'm controlling and what I'm doing. There is a mechanic in this game that's only lightly used in this game. It doesn't show up in any of the other ones. And that is certain ledges that are like waist high are not insurmountable barriers. Your character can like do an animation where they walk over or like kind of climb over things. That just doesn't... that's just completely removed in all the games after this. Ow. Oh yeah, I think I have to fall to get in there to get that thing. I don't remember if it's worth it or not. I'm sorry, spoilers. Hey, Ron. Yeah, there will be spoilers for the beginning of Demon Souls in this stream. I think like all the story elements are like that is the opening of the game, explaining how those things, explaining the backstory or whatever. Much more straightforward in this. I mean, you can see that it's the same style opening as Dark Souls, where it's like, oh, here's what's kind of going on, here's why you came here, here's what this place is, and here are a few like key players. And in Dark Souls, those key players are like, oh, these are bosses. Most of these are bosses you're gonna encounter at some point. Oh, that's how you get in here. Bastard sword. You can see rolling balls to break things is a mechanic. Or not a mechanic, as a thing that happens in this game as well. Shot in the back. Jerk. Oh, whoops. Oh, maybe I can show you the... Let me kill this guy, and then I'm going to see if I can't trigger the... like, unique movement animation that is in this game. Just tried to run again. Still using that Monster Hunter World mechanics. Let's see if this will happen. Nope. It's really specific. Like, certain areas will let you do it. Not all of them. I don't remember there being like any kind of tutorial on it either, is the interesting thing. There is a part of the game that you can get to get an item where you can't get back out. I do have Monster Hunter World. Where you can't get back out without using this mechanic to like lift yourself over things. And there's not like a prompt. I don't remember. Maybe there is a prompt to do it. I don't remember there being a prompt to do it. But I basically had to send myself back to the starting area with an item to get out of it because I didn't know that there was a way to like get over tiny ledges. Again, I should try this area later. Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, it's not needed. Also, despite that having that that mechanic of, you know, that movement mechanic, that way of traversing the terrain or whatever, there's no jump in this game. There's no jump at all in this game. Enemies have the same speed of healing that you do. But not everybody heals. Yeah, Ron, you've played Monster Hunters. I remember seeing some... I think you were playing on the Wii at one point. This is my first... Monster Hunter World is my first Monster Hunter that I'm playing. And I'm enjoying it. There's some things that are wonky, but I mean there are things that are wonky in a lot of games. Flare of fire. Great job. Somebody should have told them to beware of fire. Well, I mean, we'll see if I get into it. Maybe I'll get it on the PC release too. I feel like I'll probably be Monster Huntered out at that point. Oh, nice. And shortcut. Oh yeah, I forgot you get this ring this early. Something that did not show up in the first Dark Souls game is, I mean, you still have the two forms. You still have like your human form and your hallowed form, whereas in this game it's human and... Is it human? Or is it just live and soul form? But anyway, when you're in soul form, you have 50% HP. Something that is not around Nice. Something that is not around in Dark Souls. See, you just gotta buy a PS4 so you can play the PS4 games. I wouldn't have had a PS4 if it weren't for wanting to play Bloodborne, honestly. I mean, I don't know, I might have gotten it eventually. Yeah, you need a TV too, that's true. Check my... Yeah, you can see my item burden is already 63 out of 92. If I'm not paying attention to that, eventually I just won't be able to pick up items. Maybe we'll get to that point in this session. I can show you how not good it is. Beware of a trap. Oh, I love that frame rate drop as it struggles to render that. Yeah, do they actually have a release date for Monster Hunter World yet? Hey, buddy.
Good day to you. Care to look over my wares? Mostly stolen, but who's telling, eh?
I don't really need any of your
Go
stuff.
ahead, take your time. I'm not going anywhere.
Nice guy. There's nobody in here to blow up these barrels. Somebody somewhere is breathing. Another mechanic that, or another thing, I don't know if that's really a mechanic, that showed up in Dark Souls. Is the being able to hear certain enemies when you're nearby them. Writing notes in this game is interesting. You don't have to get an item to do it, you just have an item that does it. And you can kind of put in whatever you want. It works very similar to how Dark Souls works, but in terms of how you actually write it. But in this game, if you recommend somebody's message, or if somebody recommends your message, it gives you a heal. And that heal can happen like when you come back into the game too. And there have been times where I've gotten a heal like when I was desperately low on health and needed it because somebody recommended my message. Or like if I return to the game and somebody has recommended my message since the last time I played, I get a heal. It's really neat. That's gonna be something that's lost when the servers go off. It's more of an incentive to try and help other people. Because them reading your message doesn't just give your message more prominence, it actually can help you in the game. Come on, buddy. There we go. So you can see you can break people's stamina in this game too, make them stagger. Nice. This game doesn't have a number of casts for miracles. It has a bar, an MP bar. Looks like there's quite a few. I just didn't bother checking through some of these other ones. Take a step forward. That's a great one to put next to a ledge. There's also this message. This is just a standard message in the game. There's also backstabbing. And it's still just as fun. Coffee is starting to lose some of its heat. Oh, 1,000. You know what? Why not? It's a pretty popular message. See, it's not just the enemies that can use that trap on people. Need a coffee heat meter. Yeah, I'll acquire. You know, there are heat sensors that can plug into USB. My brother has like a whole computerized thing for his grill where he can like stick thermometers into things and monitor it to change temperature in different areas based on what the temperature of the meat is. Nice. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Not good at rolling, apparently. An awkward roll. Oh, no. I don't remember where I'm going exactly right now. Oh, yeah. Beginners definitely should try this later. I mean, you can kind of guess what'll happen when I run over here. I'm not going to. Do not actually breathe fire. You have to stay up here to get him to do it. because I kind of want to run through here. Where are you, buddy? Come on out and play. Not very much time to make it through here. Dun 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 dun. Oh, keep moving, keep moving. And take a snack. Not hit where these guys are at, it looks like. You can't get me. Yeah, that functions very, very similar to the other game, or to Dark Souls. That looks the Dragonade. There's berries on there somewhere. Another interesting thing this game, there's a closed door ahead. You know what? There is a closed door ahead. Anyway, I was saying another thing this game does well in my opinion is kind of hinting you towards where things would be. Like this door we encountered just a few minutes ago from the other side. And so if you're paying attention to the geometry, you should realize that, like, oh, there actually is a way, there could actually be a way to get to that door. So even though that door doesn't function for you, it kind of gives you a hint that there's a secret there. Okay, this is going to be a problem if I stay here. I'm just going to come over here, eat some grass, wait for you guys to come to me. Oh no! Kingdom Come, huh? Alright, well have fun playing Kingdom Come, Ron. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out. Well, now I'm back here. I have opened the boss door gate thing. I think I have a couple shortcuts. I kind of do want to go back to that area because there's a lot I can do over there, if I remember correctly. Putting myself in a bad spot here. I have plenty of healing items to pick up from these guys. That was a good death. Bye. Nope, your friend didn't make that jump, you're not going to make that jump either. Valiant effort, but you just don't have the power, you know? You don't have that leg strength. I was about to say that trap didn't work on me, but then I walked into the fire. I mean, I appreciate, you know, it's like, just because it didn't work the first time, maybe it'll work the second time. Careful. Yeah, you can see, even in the beginning, falling to your death was a very real hazard. Alright. There's my message right there. These guys drop a lot of healing items in this first area. But later on in the game, there are a lot of areas you'll spend time in that just don't have healing items. I like that it shows you where you are constantly. Oh. The whole Bolitarian Palace? Yeah. You're here, you're here. This is right where you're at. I have the same tendency. I do really like the title card, or whatever you want to call it, aspect of Dark Souls, where you enter an area and it goes and shows it on the screen. That's really neat. But yeah, I definitely would forget areas when I was encountering them. Had that same problem in Bloodborne. Grass. Tasty, tasty. You'd think these guys would have learned not to just stand here. My first time through the game, these two guys actually gave me a hard time. I didn't have, like I have this weapon right now with a huge reach, but first time through I think I was playing with a small sword maybe? Yeah, I had a hard time. I didn't have enough power to just like overwhelm them, and I didn't have the range to deal with. I had to get like in close to deal with them. It caused me a lot of trouble. Listen well, that's a good message. Beware of firehead. An even more accurate message. I think I prefer listen well. It's not just like, oh, oops, that was the wrong one. Where did the other one go? I prefer listen well because it's not just like telling you that there's gonna be a dragon ahead. It's like, you should pay attention here. Is the dragon not coming back? Where'd my dragon friend go? Dragon? Does he not come back through? Or maybe once you've made it to the other side, he only comes through on the other side? Uh-oh. A lot of guys want to hang out. Spear. It'll be fun. You guys just gonna keep chasing me? How far do I have to go before you just give up? Kinda seems like they're still chasing me back there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Getting that table out of my way. And souls. Okay, now I'm gonna deal with these guys. Eat some more grass. Deal with some slime monsters. Hey, there is treasure ahead. Volatile. Gonna bother with that guy? Drop anything, did he? No, he did not. Now there's a second shortcut. Probably didn't need to come all the way back through here, but I did. It's done now. first boss fight. Be careful not to stay in one place too long in this boss fight. Currently, he's kind of absorbing these guys to heal himself. Make sure I'm staying topped off. Yeah, speaking of goopy, got plenty of goop here. Oh, one nice thing is these guys have a tendency to drop weapon upgrade items. So even though this boss is pretty dumb in my opinion, you get a bunch of upgrade materials from fighting him. Alright. How did the core get way over here? A bunch of it. Alright. Starting to run out of guys there, guy. I'm just gonna end up killing all of the little guys, because I have nobody left. Oh, it seems like there's one, I hadn't noticed this before, but there's one that's just like part of him, I think. Interesting. Sort of got you stuck, guy. The demon was destroyed. And I revived. Bring more souls, Slayer of Demons. So, when you're alive, or when you're revived, or whatever, your body makes noises as you move around. You can hear my armor actually clinking. And I no longer have that weird glow. And now I have a new Archstone, which gives me the unique thing for that enemy. One thing that's interesting with this game is the like boss drops or whatever don't usually show up from the boss. You have to click on the archstone that appears when you kill them, and then you get the item.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above.
A monumental? There is an invade mechanic. Requires you to get certain items that I don't have yet. What I'm going to get next is the item that allows you
The
to
monumental
cooperate
will
with people.
explain the nexus to thee.
Also, a thing this game does is just straight explain certain things. It's time to go talk to the monumental. I think I have to go up more. Welcome back, Hunter. I'm pretty sure it's the same voice. Pretty sure that the lady who voices the maiden in this game also voices the doll in Bloodborne. Climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. Just keep going up. Friend lies in wait ahead. It's like a drop here. Oh, I bet you I could survive that. And here's my friend. I put away my sword so I don't accidentally punch the
We
monumental.
have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons. I am one of the Monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something thou needest to know. Once, we too, a scourge of demons faced. In the distant past, under a benevolent rule, the world was united, owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to his slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and half the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what land still remained, we entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. 1 to the king of a small yet diligent land. 1 to the king of the burrowers underground. 1 to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. 1 to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. 1 to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones
This guy says I kind of appreciate this level of exposition.
Across the earth.
Me too.
We contained the Old One inside this nexus and banned the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain.
The plot to Demon Souls is far more straightforward than all of the other FromSoft games in the same vein. I'm like, it's still weird, and there's still like things that are kind of open to interpretation or whatever, but like the premise, by this point in the game, like you had the intro and you had this character explaining stuff to you. It's like you get it, you get what's going on. and then you'll learn more as you play through the game. But even like your objective, it's like you've come here, you're trying to get rid of the demons, you're trying to solve this whole gray fog problem. There's the whole old one element, which is also, and I kind of think that's a little bit of a precursor to Bloodborne. They're already playing with, you know, Lovecraftian type stuff.
Now it is your turn. You must lull the old one back to
There you
its
go,
slumber
objective.
and seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to accept this mission?
You know what? Appreciate it, but I don't think
Yes,
I
I see.
don't think I can do it.
That is unfortunate. You should know that you will be imprisoned in the Nexus forever. Just like the poor Candle Maiden. You must destroy all the demons if you wish to be freed from the curse of the Nexus. The old one, without the demons to feed its souls, will
You're
seek a
tired.
new
Get some
servant
coffee.
and lure you to its bosom. You must lull the old one back to slumber, for your own sake as well as for ours.
Did you appreciate that the game's just like, hey, here's your point. Here's like what you're doing in this game. Are you ready for it? And you can be like, nah, actually I'm good. I don't think I'm into that. Oh yeah, here's another unique and interesting thing in this game. There's the Pantheon, which allows you to look at things that are on like the server as well as on your local machine. So if you beat the game, you can come in here and see like, oh, this is pretty sure this is Justin's character. That might be Brett's. I don't remember which one's Justin, which one's Brett's. This is my other character. This is the character I played through the game the first with. It has a very cool looking sword there, the Meat Cleaver. I love that sword. But it also just goes into like other people that play the game and their stats. And most of the things you'll see in here from other people at this point are just like ridiculously impossible awards. Yeah, it's kind of a neat little idea, basically having like a high score board or whatever. That's also like part of the game. And I don't feel like it's too much of a spoiler to say that this game has a new game cycle similar to all the other FromSoft games. So when you beat it, you'll just restart in the Nexus with like everything you had before, and the game will become harder. Don't do it. Oh, he did it. There are things you can land on though. Like I believe that there are. Yeah, there's little ledges and stuff, and I think there are some items in there. But yeah, if you miss those drops, you're gonna fall a long ways. I'm pretty sure I come back here, talk to the maiden.
Brave soul, who fears not death. Prithee,
Not death.
lull the old one back to its ancient slumber.
Aha! She does give me these items.
What is it? Dost thou seek soul power?
Dost thou seek soul power?
So be it. After all, thou requirest strength.
Strong.
Go forth, touch the demon inside me. Let these ownerless souls become thine own.
Man, I just love the way she talks. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong on this, but I think that I think what's going on there is she's not a native English speaker, and maybe I don't remember this. I don't know if this is a rumor or not, but I think maybe she didn't know it at the time of recording these lines, and that's where some of the weird enunciation comes from. I'll have to look that up. I know she's not a native English speaker, but that is, it's not to say that somebody who's not a native English speaker can't speak. You know, I'm not trying to like make fun of her or something, but I think it does add something to the character that the pacing of the way she says something is off, kind of. But yeah, it does make for a very cool voiceover.
So the world might be mended.
Stats in here are a little more simplified than in Dark Souls. But you know, some of them will look very familiar. Yeah, Doll is definitely different. It is a little bit different of a performance. But they both have that kind of like odd, otherworldly quality to them. I mean, I think I want to just raise my equip burden. Interestingly enough, the vitality is what increases your item burden, so the number of things you can carry at a time not equipped on you is just by increasing your health. I think I'm going to increase my health and probably raise my endurance a little bit. I don't really have a need to increase my strength or dexterity yet. I'll probably want to level up this weapon before I do that. I could be investing in faith to go the miracle route. I love having the heal. I don't necessarily care too much about other miracles right now. They sure give you a lot to level with in the beginning here.
Art thou done? Name thine.
My first character was Faith. I started with Faith because I wanted to get a healing miracle. Thought that was really super important. This character just starts with a healing miracle. But then I became very strength focused. And then I also put a bunch of stuff into sorcery. I kind of I sort of like weirdly nerfed my first character because I had started investing in a lot of things that I didn't follow through with.
Thou then touched.
But whatever, I beat the game. Like it didn't cripple the experience for me. But maybe I should focus on something different with this character.
Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
I don't know.
So the world
like
might
being able
be
to heal. This guy says I liked how I scoffed at the idea of a health spell early in DS. Healing. Super useful in this game as those healing items do not replenish. I mean, people talk about Dark Souls being hard, but the Estus Flask system is so, I don't know if I want to say forgiving. You know, it makes it feel like, oh, you lost or you failed that boss or whatever. You're not constantly losing a resource. I mean, I guess in some ways you are, in that there's durability on items or on weapons and whatnot, but it doesn't have that feeling of investment. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm gonna have to go grind or I'm gonna have to go buy a bunch of items. You could, but But you could also just like keep trying that boss until you eventually, you know, figure them out and beat them. I don't know, what do you think? Should I focus on, should I maybe focus on dexterity for this character? I do think I want more endurance, 'cause I don't want to be doing this, like, heavy roll thing. I don't think I'm going to do magic this time around. We'll do dex, and we'll get some dex weapons at some point. See if she has anything else to say.
As for me, I am only here to tend to the flames. I keep the candles lit and serve the brave demon slayers who are trapped here. Art thou done? May thine strength help the world be mended.
Thine strength. Like, just the pause in between things is so good. Does this guy have anything to say about me having beat that guy?
Have you met the last surviving monumental? Those fools revived the old one on a whim. And now they've trapped us here in the Nexus in a desperate attempt to undo their mistake. It's all a travesty if you ask me.
Of course it is. Pretty sure this is the same voice actor as the Crestfallen Knight in Dark Souls. This is not the same world as Dark Souls. It's completely distinct, even though Patches shows up in Dark Souls. It's not connected in any way, shape, or form, other than just both from soft games. Or if she has any new dialogue.
Back in the time that I lived below Boletaria Castle, King Alant left on some strange business, then returned with horrible demons in tow. Soon, the land was ravaged by demons and soul-starved madmen. My spine shudders just to think about it. If I did not have my miracle stone shard, a keepsake of my grandfather, I may not have survived.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that this guy... These guys just show up automatically after
I have
that?
sinned. I swore allegiance to Saint Urbain, but was of no use to him. And now I have run away and abandoned his honorableness.
That was close.
O Lord, punish me, for I have not the strength to punish
Daddy.
myself. O Honorable One, I hesitate to imagine your present state. Deep within the darkness, where no light shall ever shine, will you continue to pray, even in such misery?
Oh, I didn't know you turned to look at me. Hey, I just met you. This is crazy. Crazy. I'm a sinner. Punish me, maybe. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to lead with.
Oh, you must be another disciple of God.
I am.
I too am on a quest to fight the demons in the name of the Lord. May I share God's power with you? Do not be bashful. We are both cut from the same cloth.
And here's my miracle guy. Disciple of God. Yeah, none of these are particularly useful. Hidden Soul is making them harder to be detected by Black Phantoms. Black Phantoms are invading players, or you know, like invading NPCs or NPC encounters in the game. Despite being called Black Phantoms, I believe they actually glow red. But another thing this guy will let me do is remember my miracles. Unlike in Dark Souls and the following games, you have to like equip your spells with the person who can teach you spells. So like I have to go to a miracle person in order to change which miracles I have equipped. Also similar to Dark Souls, most people can be killed. So you could just kill all the people who allow you to change which miracles you're holding, and then you just don't get to change miracles.
I see. You wish to train yourself in stoicism. Very well. I pray we meet again.
I'm sure we will, buddy. Now, I'm gonna go see if I can't...
it's simple.
Just see if maybe this guy has any kind of dex weapons, and then maybe we'll upgrade
trade,
something.
I'll give you weapons, or forge ones you already have. With your souls, I can eke out a living, and with my weapons, you can go on living. Not a bad deal, huh?
Oh, something going on with the stream, huh? That's not good. Let me see if this guy has anything I want. Dagger, short sword, battle axe. Dagger scales with dex. Oh, that's weird. You know, I think I maybe... Oh. I wonder if when I set up the schedule for this stream, if I had put in that it was going to end at 9 or something, and so it just like considered that the end of this stream event or whatever. I'll have to be careful of that in the future. I don't specifically remember scheduling an end time, but I don't know. It didn't, like, the stream didn't start at the time that I scheduled it. Like, I had to come in here and say start, which is good. Like, I want it to start when I say it should start, but I'll have to play around with how that works. So the dagger's the only thing that really gives me a lot of scaling with dexterity right now, and I'm not really into it. So I think we're gonna stick with we're gonna stick with the halberd for now. I guess I did pick up some other stuff, didn't I? What does the wing spear do? Wing spear scales with dex. I can play with the spear a little bit. The spear does a little bit less damage than my halberd right now. I don't know what its moveset is either.
I can tell you're not
gonna last long here. Pretty much what I'd expect from a spear. Like a heavy stab. Short stab. It does have some... Okay. That's not much though, and I don't seem to have a way of triggering that. All of its moves are like straightforward with the exception of that roll move. And there's not very many times I'm going to want to do that into an enemy. How close am I to being able to roll properly? Oof, my equip burden is really close to full. I think I need to get underneath 50% to be able to do it correctly. Bad. I like this, armor set. But yeah, it seems like I'm not going to be able to do much in the rolling department. Alright, so, one thing the Monumental was talking about was how there's all these different archstones that will take you to different parts of Boletaria, or different parts of the world, or whatever. And they're all here, with the exception of this one, which is broken. And there just is no world there. However, if I look at world tendency, it will show me like what the tendency of all these different areas of the game are, and it does show that Archstone, one of the 6, but you're just never going to get to interact with it. And there's speculation that like maybe it's just cut content. I think we know that it's cut content, but I think there was speculation that it might have been for like DLC or something, but it is not. And you can see how these different areas have different brightnesses. Like Boletarian Palace is brighter than all the other ones. That's because I beat a boss there and returned in human form. If I'm in human form and I die, I will make the area go darker. And that has an effect on things. It changes like the drops that can happen. I believe the darker you get, the more likely you are to get drops. Or maybe it's the inverse of that. But like, the darker it is, the more health enemies will have, and the more stamina they'll have, and they'll hit harder. If you go completely pure white or black, which takes a lot to get there, unique things will happen in the world. Like there'll be areas that you couldn't get to before that'll be available. There'll be NPCs that will spawn, who like might even have their own full quest line stuff that you'll just never see if you haven't encountered them when the world was pure white or pure black or whatever. That's really cool. Like it's a really interesting thing. But when you sign into the game, when you load the game, there is a global world tendency that's like the server level. And that is determined by like the average of everybody who's playing online. And when you sign into the game, all of your game's world tendencies will be averaged with the global world tendency. And the global world tendency has a tendency to just kind of be somewhere in the middle. Meaning that if you're playing online all the time, it actually becomes very hard to have world tendency be completely black or completely white. Which means that if people want to play through this game, even now, if they want to like get unique things, they're usually playing offline and doing certain tricks to try and basically force their world tendency to go a certain direction to get somebody to spawn or to get something unique to happen. So this is one of those things, it's a really interesting idea that didn't like hold up, in my opinion. And it's not something, like, I'm not playing this online because I really desperately need to have my world be averaged with everybody else's. I'm playing it online because I want to be able to have the ability to play with other people or encounter them or get invaded or whatever. Coffee is getting very cold, so I probably won't play for too much longer. But one thing I really appreciate, and this is something that's not in Bloodborne, is I can just go to like any of these now. I don't have everything unlocked in them. Like you can see there's only one location, but I can pick which one I want to. And it's not necessarily, like this isn't necessarily one where I want to go next. Actually, do I want to go here next? There's somebody who I might want to look at what kind of weapons they have here, so I am going to go here next. But, you know, that's not necessarily the next part of the game. And I don't think that that those areas go from, like, easiest to hardest either. They kind of jump around a little bit. all the load screens have a tendency to show like characters or NPCs that you might encounter. Go talk to this guy.
Hello there, souls. Souls. I trade fine goods for souls.
Filthy man. It's a filthy man. I should pick up this pickaxe, honestly.
It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Here's another thing that I appreciate about this game that shows up in other games. You can hear that there's a blacksmith nearby. So even though I don't have access to him right now, like I could be keeping track of like, oh, somewhere over in this area there is a blacksmith. So I should be finding a way to get to that. Down. I don't know if this is where I want to go next. Let's see, I'm probably going to play for another 20 minutes or so. So I should do something that will get me somewhere in 20 minutes. One thing I could do is put down a blue. I don't remember where I have to be to use this. Just like in the other games, certain areas are not multiplayer capable. Oh. Oh, I forgot. I can't actually use the blue eye stone if I'm human. So I can only use the soul. So, something they leaned into in this game is the idea that you know, you can do multiplayer and get rewards for it, but it's set up in such a way that like, oh, the reason you want to help somebody is because it can make you human again. And so, why would you want to be able to play with somebody when you're a human? Unfortunately, that means that if you're trying to play through the game with a friend or something, you have to you basically have to like kill yourself to help them again. So like if you successfully help somebody, you'll become human. But then if you want to just go help them again in the next area, you need to have died. Something that they definitely carried over to Bloodborne here is your healing lady will wander around and do other things from time to time. I think the Valley of Defilement. This is Bloodborne preview. This I'm not sure what you want to call it, but pre-Bloodborne or pre-Blighttown. Trying Storms is fairly hard, I think, at this point in the game, but it can provide you a lot of stuff. Tower of Latria, I despised in my first playthrough. It's very confusing. There's a lot there. I don't think I want to go there right now. But I need to unlock something. Maybe I'll go to Shrine of Thorns, or Shrine of Storms. With these guys. Oh yeah, I remember this NPC. I think I found him in the previous area. First playthrough. I'm not sure what I missed this time. Yeah, I've never watched a speedrun of this game. I bet you it's pretty intense. I know that you can do some bonkers things with magic. Okay. You know what, buddy? Just chill for a second. Okay, alright, I get it. I get it. Thank you. Magic is, from what I understand, pretty crazy broken. The true Demon Soul starts here. Yep. Write that up. I believe that if other people have their signs down, I can see them now. Skeleton men are so aggressive. These guys also gave me a lot of trouble on my first playthrough. The way they like roll around all the time. Do that. Well, time to take a sip of coffee. Well, hey, now that I'm in soul form, I can put down my summon thing and see if anybody wants to summon me. Stop rolling! Ow, I walked right into that. Stop rolling! You stop it. I've played this game before, okay? I know what I'm doing. Alright, let's put down a blue sign. Now let's treat this guy seriously. There we go. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here we go. Oh. Oh, okay. So my multiplayer sessions is showing here are like my PS ID, PlayStation ID, wait, PSN ID. Not this character. So another thing that's not in the other games, if I remember correctly, is actually like rating players. Like if somebody's in your world, or was just in your world, you can like rate them. I don't even remember how you do it. But S is like the best, with D being the worst. I think that applies to invasions too. So it's like it doesn't necessarily mean anything. I feel like maybe getting a good rating might heal you or something. I don't remember. But I have all those S ratings from helping people beat bosses and stuff on my first playthrough. I wonder if I can parry these guys from that move. Attracted arrow guy. Ow. Where's the way out of this spot? I need to escape. So I can take some more grass. Ah, I thought I had the backstab there. Onward and upward. Can't see where I am. Okay, there we go. Come on over here. My parry timings are like very If I remember correctly, parrying is actually easier in this game than it is even in Dark Souls. Dark Souls already has a pretty forgiving parry window. I know that there are some good, like, traditional dex weapons in this game too. Like, you can get katana type weapons, you can get rapiers, stuff like that. I just might not have access to any of them yet. Okay, now just stop doing that same move over and over again. Not very nice. Oof. Alright. Oh no! Destroyed. Maybe I'll have to come back here when I've leveled up a little bit. Or just pay more attention to what these guys are doing. If I remember correctly from my first playthrough, I did get to a point where I could pretty consistently destroy these guys. Probably just by I learned their parry timings. Because I think you can parry that roll they do too. No, you can parry that. There we go. Very similar to how it functions in Dark Souls, in that you have like an audio indicator and a visual indicator to say, hey, you successfully did this. Same thing in Bloodborne, actually. Bloodborne has that same sort of like, just to let you know that, hey, you can do this now. Maybe I should go level up. Ah, nobody saw my sign. Oh, how forgiving, you really like how forgiving the parry mechanic is? Did I just get trapped in this corner? Oh, not quite. Walked into his range. Stop doing that roll. Go on, do it. Off again. Stop rolling when you're right in front of me. I did a partial parry there. really the roll parry timing that I need to learn for these guys. I don't have enough poise to like not get staggered by their hits right now. Nobody wants me to come play in their world. Going right up to an enemy is the opposite of what you feel like you want to do. Yeah, that's true. Come on, guy. Come hang out over here. Oh, did not time that very well at all. Use up all my healing here. Too bad. Alright. Got him down. Yeah, I've been really enjoying that Natalie playing Bloodborne on Waypoint. Oh, don't fall off his edge. Uh-oh. Oh, these rolls are bad. Stop it. Stop it. Really need to fix this roll situation. Where are you going? Come back. Oh, that was close. Stop rolling everywhere. Just want to kill you. I must admit, it's a pretty effective strategy for you. There we go. This is a great way, this area is a great way in the early game, which I'm still very much in the early game, to really quickly get souls. Like you can see I already have enough to probably level more than once. Where did that thing turn around? Run straight through. Oh yeah, because of that. I want to get some of these items though. Well, another really cool area design there, in that you can see that there's an area over there and that has an item. It's like way later on I'll be able to go and be outside of that wall, and if I remember that there's a thing there, I can kind of like backtrack up something. Get back there. Soul sign I lost have disappeared. Is that because I just came to this fog gate? Or is it because I'm being invaded? Turned the wrong way for that. yeah, there's a guy over here who's very bad. I don't know if I want to fight that guy yet. Oh, coffee's getting cold. Oh, it's very cold. This is cold coffee. It's like colder than the room. Like this room is not cold, and my coffee has, it's like it's in a fridge. I'll have to make maybe less coffee next time I do this. Or drink it faster. Time to be smart about this. Time to fall down about this. Oh yeah, that's right, there's no dropping down on people mechanic in this game. I mean, it causes them damage and it hurts them a little bit, but there's no, like, plummet attack. I wonder if that's why in Dark Souls they introduce that plummet attack like right away for the first boss. To be like, hey, there's a new thing here. Well, see you guys later. Oh yeah. Another fun thing in this game. It's kind of fitting with the like weird otherworldly Lovecraftian stuff. Did you see that out there? It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's a flying mantis. Copper key. It's not something I can open. I don't remember where this copper key goes to. Oh, let's read the description of it. A simple copper key. You can faintly make out some mold on it. Alright, that helps. I should put my menu away. That might be about time. Coffee's gotten cold. Be about time to call this stream. Maybe I should just work my way back and uh-oh. Aha! Did you see that? That's that mechanic that lets you go up slight edges. I don't know if you can actually even do that. I think I'm gonna work my way back up, level up, and then call it quits for today. Oh, hey guys. No, no, no. I wanna die here. I don't know if I'll play through this whole thing on stream. Like, I want to consistently stream more. I want Cup of Joe to be a thing that I do. But I don't intend it to always just be like Demon Souls. So I don't know if I'll do a full playthrough, but I'm definitely going to return to this game. I want to get some multiplayer stuff in while we can still, you know, while there still is multiplayer stuff to do.
Thou seeketh soul power, dost thou not? Then touch.
So I didn't really do much multiplayer. I mean, I did a lot of summoning to help other people with bosses, but like a lot of that 40 whatever it was multiplayer things were other people on my PS4 who have played Demon Souls, specifically Brett and Justin, I believe.
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of
cold
the lost,
coffee.
withdrawn from its vessel.
Gross.
Let strength be granted so the world might be mended.
I think we need vitality, endurance,
So
and
the world
dexterity.
might be mended.
So we give us another dexterity. Or give us some more stamina. And that's it.
Art thou done?
I am done. Thanks for
May
asking.
thine strength help the world be mended.
And let's go speak to Stockpile
I would be
Thomas.
happy to lighten your load and look after any excess baggage.
Please do. You can see even like my consumables take up item stuff. Just kind of awesome. Luckily my souls, like storing souls on me doesn't take up stuff, but upgrade materials, that adds up real fast. I think his first name is Thomas. I don't think it's Stockpile Thomas. Like, his first name is Stockpile and his last name is Thomas. Well, that maybe his family name is Thomas. Oh yeah, I forgot you can get a Talisman of God really early. Get rid of some of these shields. Heater shield is good. I'm just gonna stick with that for now. Not Bastard Sword. I really like the halberd. I don't know if I'm ready to put that away. I can always switch to it if I really need it. Probably don't need holy arrows since I don't have any bows yet. Don't need these clothes. Oh, these clothes are female only. I didn't realize that. Definitely don't need those clothes. And I'll put away these upgrade materials too.
Rest assured, your goods are safe and sound with me. Best of luck to you.
Thanks.
Best of luck to you.
Thanks again. This pickaxe is so fun. This is my brother Muckraker Thomas. I need to remember where Patches is because I want to find Patches again in this game. It's interesting that they just give you somebody right off the bat to do, you know, you can buy miracles from and whatnot. You do have to find in the world the like higher tier miracle and sorcery guys. But if I come over here,
what do you want, brute? I have no use for miscreants like yourself. Away with you.
harsh. Anyway, kick.
What do you want, brute? I have no use for
It's interesting. I'm pretty sure this guy sells you, or allows you to learn spells. He calls me a brute because I do not have the minimum stats for learning spells. Because I believe I'll see magic is 6. It's probably something where you have to have a magic of at least 10 for him to even talk to you. Well, cool. There you go. First episode of Cup of Joe with Joe. I need some Demon Souls. I guess it's time to finish off this coffee. Oh. 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 That bottom of the cup coffee. And it's cold. Man, that's no good. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. We'll be back at some point. know when I'm going to do it again. It's probably going to be like a weekend thing. Like I'd like to. It gives me, it's a good excuse to get up Saturday mornings. Maybe I'll try and do it Sunday mornings too, depending on what's going on. Yeah. Catch you later.